I get manifestation can seem sometimes a bit tricky, or because sometimes you have to take action, but there's no point in like forcing it. You don't want to force manifestation because it usually never works out the way that you want it to. Basically, you're not going to get the result that you want if you're forcing it. It's not good to force anything. You know, the word doesn't even feel good to say. You know what I mean? Why would you want to force your desire to happen? It's just not a satisfying feeling. So if you're not getting what you want, trying to manifest something, it's not the universe. And like I said in my other videos, it's probably not even karma or anything like that. It's more than likely something that you're doing. And in this video, I want to talk about one of the possible reasons that could be. And that could be you resisting change, basically. U.S. Anderson had this quote. It says, what was the quote? Every thought you entertain becomes a part of you and inevitably will bring you the physical reality of your image. Now, what image is that? That's the image that you hold in your mind, the assumptions that you carry, your visualizations. They will come to pass if you can hold that assumption in your mind. You imagining something like a business, a new relationship, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, a new life, right? That imagining plants a seed, but seeds, obviously, they need to grow. And you need to allow that soil to change. And what you're doing when you're resisting something that comes up, that requires you to like pivot a little bit, adjust, change, or completely walk away from something, when you don't follow suit with that, you kind of like resist your manifestation. You don't stop it, but you interfere with the how. You're interfering with the natural bridge of incidents that's supposed to occur to lead you directly to the thing you imagine. This is truth, right? And I want you to test it. I do not want you to take my word for this. I want you to test it, right? In fact, I'm gonna give you some techniques in this video that's probably gonna help you do just that. You know, you could try it over the next 7 days, the next month. Like, I don't care how long you do it. You could take it 7 days. It doesn't matter. Just try it. And I promise you, if you stick with these 3 steps, you will see something happen. All right, I'm not saying it's going to lead you directly to your manifestation, but you will see reality start to shift. All right, so let's get into the video. Again, I'm Luther, the self-image alchemist, and I help people rewire their mind so they can receive their manifestations and help people get in alignment. Basically, I want to help you get into alignment. So with this, let's just dive into the 3 steps here. The first, it's like a 3-step practice. I didn't title these anything, so I'm just gonna run down them. So the first thing you want to do is you want to hold the assumption, right? You want to hold the assumption, basically keep that image of the thing that you want alive in your mind, and don't mentally rehearse the opposite, right? Because we do that a lot. We'll want something, but then we'll think of all the ways that thing can go wrong. Don't do that, right? Because that's you just digging at the soil, poking it at the seed, like when doubt, it's just not good, all right? We don't want to do that. You probably heard it before. So when doubt shows up, when you start doubting your manifestation, when you start going in those thought loops, label it, point that out to yourself and be like, hey, I'm doubting myself right now. Literally say it to yourself, because you take yourself out of your head and be like, oh shit, I'm actually doubting myself. And more you do that, the less likely it'll have any kind of like power over you or your desires or your manifestations. And there's another quote, I believe from Wallace D. Wallace. He said, to think according to appearances is easy. To think truth regardless of appearances is laborious and requires the expenditure of more power than any other work man is called upon to perform. Wallace D. Waddles said that from The Science of Getting Rich. So what is he saying in that quote? What he's saying is that Staying in an assumption when your senses scream otherwise takes discipline, right? That's the work. It's not wishful thinking, and it's not steady, it's stubborn alignment. You know what I mean? Like it definitely helps you stay in like the flow state, because when things are going right around you in your reality, it's easy for you to try to get in the flow. It's easy for you to go with things and to be like, oh yeah, reality's changing. But when it's not, and you're actually witnessing, or when you first start manifesting and everything around you want to change, and you first start, it's hard to not pay attention to that. It's hard to hold an assumption of the opposite of what's going on around you. That's basically what that quote is saying, and it is. And I want to tell you that up front. Shit ain't easy. It's not. Right? Looking around you and nothing is going your way, but to still hold that thought, if you just need to do it just a little bit, I promise you, just do it a little bit. For one, you'll feel better and things will start to change. Now, don't ignore your feelings. I'm not telling you to like ignore how you feel about things, to suppress any kind of feelings or any thoughts that may come up. Deal with those the best way you know how. I'm not going to address that in this video, just for the sake of time. And plus I want to stay on topic, but sometimes those things can come up. But the main thing is hold the assumption regardless of what's going around in the world, right? What's going on around you. It doesn't matter, right? Ignore it. It's probably part of your bridge of incidents in the first place. Which brings me to step number 2. All right, the first step was hold the assumption. That's it. Step 2, accept the changes. It's that simple. Things are going to start changing. I talked about this in one of my videos. I believe it's, I'll link it. I think it's something about being in a liminal space, being like in between manifestations. I'll link it. I touched on this a little bit in that one. So yeah, accept the change. Like when reality nudges you towards an awkward conversation, a financial stretch, right? A new routine. Like don't resist that. Right? Treat those moments as proof that you planted the seed and the seed is sprouting. And reality is starting to reflect that. That's it. Because that's really the reality of the situation right there. That's it. Accept the changes, right? And I just talked a little bit about it, so I'm not gonna go too far into that. And last but not least, step number 3, act, and this is important, or this is crucial. Act when it feels natural. Right? Because being in the flow state and being in alignment, I'll say it this way: being in alignment doesn't require you to force yourself to necessarily do anything. It doesn't necessarily require discipline, right? It doesn't require you to like kind of force yourself to do something. Act when it feels naturally. That's the whole point Never God was talking about. Like you don't have to do anything, because it's mostly more than likely things that you were going to do anyway. See, the universe is real. The universe is very intelligent. It will set you up in scenarios where you will act naturally, and you would do the natural thing you would normally do, and that will lead you to your desires, period. Right? Don't force anything or everything, right? But do the small things that kind of that feel like the next step, right? The short email, a rehearsal of whatever, a payment plan, if it's something to do with financial, right? Whenever inspiration lands, move, right? Not more, not less, just enough, right? And it's that sweet spot, right? That's the whole point of the bridge of incidents. You're walking down the bridge of incidents, and the bridge of incidents, in case you don't know, because I used this term a couple of times, is just basically it's life's way of throwing these incidents that may happen throughout your life, leading you up to the desire, things that must take place, changes that must happen to lead you to your desire. And when you resist those, the universe, your manifestation isn't just completely destroyed. No, it's not destroyed. It's still planted. The universe just pivots a little bit, or God, or whatever you want to believe in. It just pivots just a little bit and nudge you just in a different direction. It may be a longer route. It may be a tougher route. It may not be a pleasant one, or it may happen like that. If you keep resisting, that happens, and that's not fun. All right, that's like a tower moment. The tower comes crashing down, has to, for you to rebuild something better on top of that with a stronger foundation. That's the whole point. It's the whole point of things changing, for you to build a better foundation with it. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is that you're trying to like manifest. So yeah, so I'm gonna go over those again. So hold the assumption is the first step. Accept the changes and act when it feels natural. That's it. That's all you need. Right? This isn't like a wish system. It's just this is just what it is. So anyway, if you like that, try it for 7 days. I don't know, and get back to me and see if you notice like any change. Honestly, it can happen like overnight. Like the changes can happen overnight. Your manifestation can happen overnight too. But what I'm guaranteeing you here now is that you will start to see changes. Period. Right? I don't care how big your manifestation is or how small you think it is. You will notice changes. Right? Just don't. What can I say? Just don't force anything. Don't try to force anything. Don't over obsess about things. And one other note I want to give to you before I end this video is on the step 1, hold the assumption. This is the area where all your manifestation techniques comes into play. Vision boards, if you're into that, if it works for you. If it doesn't, no big deal. I keep one. I rarely use it, but I do have one, and I keep it on my phone, so it's with me wherever I go. Right? Affirmations, right? That's another one that helps you hold the assumption. That's it. And it's also affirmation can also eventually be inspiring and actually lead to behavioral changes, right? So that will help you in the other steps as well. So this first step is crucial. Hold the assumption. Just like Wallace D. Wallace said, it's probably going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, is to try to think the truth that's in your mind out regardless of what's going on around you. That's tough, man. That is tough. To think you're abundant when your bank account is like in the red. You know what I mean? That's hard. To constantly think that way. But the more you start to think that way, the more you hold that assumption, the more your emotions will start to like kind of align with that. The more it'll start to affect your nervous system. The more you start to rewind those brain synapses. You know what I mean? So yeah, try this for 7 days, and I'm gonna end the video here. I hope this helped. If it did, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Yeah, everything you need to know about me, it's in the description. I always put it in the description. So that's what I have for today, and until next time.